please.
Trustee
Here.
Trustee Lee.
Here.
Trustee Walker.
Here.
Vice President Gagos.
Here.
President Slaughter.
Here. Okay, unless there are any changes, Superintendent Pressa.
There are no changes.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Moving on to approval of the minutes, unless there are any changes, can I get a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. The board met in closed session, but we have nothing to report out. And so now we're going to move on to the installation of our student trustees. So I want to say really quickly that this is one, having student trustees is one of the most important things that I've ever voted on as a school board member. It is extremely critical to me that we have a strong student voice, that I'm a firm believer that I can't solve problems for other people. And so when we're talking about solving issues that involve our students, it doesn't make any sense to me that they have no voice or participation in the process. And so the way we have this set up, I don't know if there's any other school district that has this many student representatives, and that the number of student representatives have this close proximity to the board and to the superintendent on so many times, the number of times. And there have been things that I have fought for years that student trustees bring up, and within weeks it changes. So you guys can make a very, very strong impact. And now speaking to you directly, that I hope that you realize the magnitude of the responsibility that's being given to you, that you are the voice of all of the students. And that normally students that apply for this role, that's a specific type of student. You know, it's college track, usually in certain classes. And that to take time to do outreach to other students that are not in your lived experience, so that you can truly be the voice of all of the students in our school. And really thinking about the future of the school. As a school board member, all of the changes and the things that I put in place went into place after my kids graduated, you know? And so what do we need to do to build a school that works better for the students that are coming behind you? And that's the legacy that you live. So I'm extremely proud to have you all here tonight, and I'm excited to install you as student trustees. So I am going to read the names, and if I say any name wrong, please correct me. Of all of our student trustees, we have a large number, but that's fantastic. And then Superintendent Press is going to recognize those that have taken the additional step and are working as officers in your role. So starting with Westmore, we have Chloe Chow, Lauren Tam, Charlotte Sang, Ryan Chow, and Adam Myatt. And then going on to Jefferson High School, we have Eden Magbalang, Evelyn Carias, thank you, Natalia Alvarado, Fernanda Morea, and Angela Chen. And then Terra Nova High School, Rafferty Perez, Summer Simpson, Alaya, is it Alaya? Yes, Alaya Aluchong, thank you. Hannah Rossoff and Wyatt Ryan. And moving on to Oceana, we have Violet Schuler, Dominic Presta, Ava Emperado, Avani Rajan, thank you. And then Caitlin Nguyen. And then from Thornton High School, we have Daniel Gervasio, Sofia Uribe, and Kylo Vicente. So I would like to give you all really quickly a round of applause. Thank you so much for stepping up and being leaders in our school district. And I'll turn it over to Superintendent Pressa to highlight our officers.
Thank you, President Salahuddin. So I am very excited that we have co-officers again this year. The students gave sort of 1-minute elevator pitches to to the other student trustees to describe why they would be good in their role. And then the students did an anonymous voting to elect their officers. So I'm excited to announce that our co-presidents this year are Chloe Chow and Violet Schuler. Our co-VPs are Alaya Alachong. Did I say it right? Okay. And Charlotte Sang. Co-secretaries are Lauren Tam and Hannah Rosoff. And we've got communications and social media for the whole district. And those two people are Evelyn Correas and Adam Mayat. And then each site has communications and social media people. Jefferson, again, it's Evelyn Correas and then Angela Chin. Westmore is Adam Mayat and Ryan Chow. Oceana is Dominic Presta and Eva Imperato. Terra Nova is Summer Simpson. And Thornton High School, Sophia Uribe.
Okay, so our next item up for business is I am going to swear you all in. And so what I'm going to have you guys do is you guys are all going to stand, raise your right hand, and you're going to repeat after me. I'm going to hold it slowly so I wake up. There we go. What was that? Oh, okay. I'm not on camera. Okay, well, they'll live. Yeah. Okay, so and state your whole name. Do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California, that I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I'm about to enter. That was great enough. Congratulations.
Gonna do that last part.
Yeah, that last line is a little tough. So with that, we are going to take some time. We have goodies in the hallway. So we're going to adjourn, allow you guys to grab some goodies, and then we'll come back in about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll come back and reopen session in 10 minutes. So thank you. Going to recess.
And the students who are representatives at this meeting, when we come back from having the treats, please come to your seats up here.
We need to get direction on photo or.
Beautiful.
Okay. So before you grab a treat, if you all could just go out front for a group picture. All
Right in the lobby.
So we're going to adjourn for recess until 7:22.
Okay.
Thank you.
Very good.
Recording stopped. I'm really pleased to present the October Student of the Month from Adult Transition, Yahir Perez. Yahir joined ATP after completing high school at Terra Nova. Doreen? Go Tigers. How did you leave me hanging on that one there? Yahir is a hardworking student with a joyful personality. Transition specialist Emily Hansen reports that Yahir is an incredibly hardworking student, and he always does his job with a big, bright smile. He comes to school every day, ready to do his best. His first year at ATP, Yahir worked in the district office. The next year, he worked at Siebel. Last year, Yahir showed what a hard worker he was at Mountain Mike's. This year, Yahir will be working 2 jobs, Dave & Buster's and distributing groceries at the Daly City Youth Health Center. I look forward to seeing Yahir every day. Whenever he runs into me, he asks me the same question. Mr. B, what are you doing here? I genuinely believe he thought that I lived at Saramont. And to go off book for a second, I was gone for a week in September for the passing of my mother. When I came back, Yahir was like, Mr. B, where have you been? His teacher, Wilm Kalalong, has this to say about Yahir. This is what your teacher said, Yahir. Yahir is someone who lights up our school with his warmth and kindness, a true ball of sunshine. Yahir greets everyone with a smile that brightens the day. He has a way of asking the most thoughtful questions, ones that are sure to make you smile. Yahir is never afraid to ask for help, and he always shows his gratitude with a big, heartfelt smile. In moments of stress, he is the first one to remind everyone to just relax and breathe. His positive energy is so contagious that everyone across all the classes at ATP knows and loves him. Yahir will graduate from ATP at the end of the year, and we will definitely miss him around here. But we know that he will keep spreading joy wherever he goes. Yahir Perez.
Yeah. So I have an award for you. Before I bring it down and we take a picture, I'm going to allow my colleagues to also say wonderful things about you. So I'm going to open up and start down with our student. Well, I'm going to start with our adult trustees so they can get an idea of what we do, and then I'll turn it over to our student trustee.
Congratulations. You're so deserving. I remember going to the art show last year in San Francisco, and you just spoke and presented so well, and your artwork is beautiful. And you're going to have 2 jobs this year. I can barely do one. But, yeah. But I just want to congratulate you. Thank you to your entire family. What a beautiful family you have, so supportive. And I don't want to think about not seeing you because you really do light up the room. Thank you.
Yeah, here, congratulations to you. I'm very, very proud of you for the work you've done. And I know that when next time I make it up to Dave & Buster's, I will look for you and maybe get a recommendation on which game I should play when I'm up there. All right, congratulations. I hear your smile just lights up this room.
Yeah, here, congratulations for me. This is the first time I've gotten to see you and know you a little bit. So I thank you for continuing to spread joy around the district. That's why I enjoy coming here. So I'm glad you're a part of it. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Yahir. We're very proud of you. I know your family's very proud of you. You can see them smiling with you and enjoying this moment. And I think you worked really hard to get to this point. And it's very obvious and apparent that you take life on with a lot of joy. And I think that's one of the most important things you could do. So keep on doing that and spreading that beautiful smile around. Okay, bud? Congratulations.
Okay, opening up to our student trustees. If any of you want to make a comment, you just let me know. Yes. Okay, we'll start down at the end.
congratulations to Yahir for being named Student of the Month. It's awesome to hear how like you bring a smile to everyone's face and your positivity and I guess dedication. I wish you the best of luck for your future endeavors, and I hope you have fun in your final year. Thank you.
Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say congratulations on this super big honor, and I hope you're really proud of yourself because you can see that your family is super proud of you, and we all are too. So congratulations.
Superintendent Presta?
Thank you.
I just wanted to say
Oh,
congratulations. You're here.
sorry. Go, go. Oh, that's it. Okay, now you go ahead.
Yahir, I miss seeing you every day now that you're in the other building. So I miss seeing your face. So I'm happy to see you tonight. Congratulations. And I also want to say that I really enjoyed your artwork last year when we visited Creativity Explored. It was beautiful. So congratulations. And I know I am very proud of you, and your family is very proud of you too. Thank you.
And lastly, I'm going to talk to your family first. So I just want to say to you all, thank you so much for the work that you've done to get him to this place. That I wish that the world was more reflective of your child. I'm also a mother of a child that has special needs. And they are blessings. There's nothing wrong with him. And I wish the world would make the space that they deserve, because if they did, it would be such a better place. And I don't mean to get emotional. And this is my son's like, Mom, every time you talk about me, you start crying. So it makes me think I'm doing something wrong. And in fact, it's the exact opposite. I know that it's the same for you, that watching your child grow up, it's just been an inspiration. It's been an inspiration, and it keeps me going, and it fills me with strength to see how much courage that people don't see, how much courage, how much strength, how much resilience that they have to get through the day every day and still have a smile on their face, no matter what is presented to them, no matter how people show up to them. They still are so accepting of the world. And, you know, we could all learn so much if we were more accepting of others that are different. And so, yeah, here, I'm going to say to you that I'm so proud of you. Even though I only run into you on occasion, I am so proud of you and everything that you've done and all the impact that you've had on so many people. And that even when you don't see me, know that I'm super proud of you and I'm rooting for you every single day. So thank you so much. And with that, I'm going to come down there and give you this and say congratulations. So congratulations. Yeah, so now I think we're all going to come down and we're all going to take a picture. Yeah. So now I'm gonna let you hold it and we're gonna take a picture with everybody. Here, family, if you want to, I think we're all gonna go over here. Yes. Thanks so much. I want to see. Oh, very nice. Perfect. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right, congratulations. Okay, so now moving on to communications. This is our time where we report out as trustees, anything that we'd like to share with each other and the public at large. So again, I am going to start with the adult trustees and then I'll go to the students so they can get a model on what to do. So starting with trustee Tejada.
Hi, everybody. Good evening. So this week, over the past 2 weeks, I was able to go to the Oceana Back to School Night, and it was completely packed. And it was just great to see families, the students who were helping. I mean, of course, school spirit was really big that night. And then I also went to the immigration resource night that was here. And I remember, just last year and the year before and before that, where we used to hold it at the Galleria, and it was so dark. And here it was so inviting and bright and vibrant. And we had a lot of our students providing translations, and it was just a really bustling, wonderful evening. And then right after, we went to back to school night at the adult transition program. And it was my first time going to the new building because I wasn't able to go before. And it's everything they deserve. Adult school or adult transition students, they deserve that building. And it was just so nice to walk through the classrooms. And then on Sunday, I went to Fog Fest, and for once, there was actually fog at Fog Fest for once. But it was nice to connect with the community as usual, and just to connect with our students who are volunteering. Thank you.
I too was I was at the Immigration Resource Night last week, which I thought was fantastic. Just really wonderful setup. So kudos to the team for putting it on. And also the Fog Fest booth on Saturday, again, similar, connecting with the community, which was really great. And last night with the student advisory, with the student trustees, and it was just really exciting to see the students really take ownership of the meeting, and really actually, it seemed like they were having a good time being able to connect with each other, get to know each other, and start to plan out what they're going to do this year. Excited about the work they're going to do.
I have nothing to report personally, but I hear good things happened from my sources at outreach to kids at Valley Marsh School, and also at the district's Fog Fest booth. So kudos to the team. And I'm looking forward to going to the top of the hill in a couple of weeks. So I hope to be able to report back on that fun. Thank you.
Yeah, well, like the rest of my colleagues here, I was at the Immigration Resource Night, which I thought was thoroughly impressive, actually. My first time attending that event. I think it was the third time we've held it, but if it was anything like it was this last time, it was very helpful for a lot of people, and the turnout was way better than I expected. So that was really cool. And then I stopped by Fog Fest for a couple hours on Saturday. I really wish I could have stayed longer, but I don't think I've seen it that packed there in a while. So that was really cool too. So I think next year I'm definitely going to make a better effort to stick around and enjoy it a little bit more.
Thank you. So we're going to start with our student trustees, and just so I can get a handle on names, can you just tell me your name and school before you make your report?
Hello, my name is Adam Yat. I'm from Westmore, and this month for Westmore, we've had multiple exciting activities and important initiatives. Throughout August, we've had suicide awareness events where it promoted mental health support for our students through like therapy dogs and like de-stress events. Our environmental action club is hosting their annual thrift store, so they really want to raise awareness about sustainability, specifically at Westmore. Future Business Leaders, or FBLA for short, recently attended an officer training in Cupertino, and they will be volunteering at the Casa Yahan event next week. We are looking forward to our rally on the October 18th, which is beach themed, and our new sound system will be making its debut. And last week, we've elected our 9th grade officers successfully and also had our first school dance of the year.
Great, thank you.
My name is Angela Chin, and I go to Jefferson. And then last Saturday, Mission Fusion performed at San Mateo. And then this week, we have signups for intramural games. This week is kickball. And then last week, we had our homecoming spirit week and our homecoming football game, and we won. And then last Friday, we had our Stanford blood drive, and our band performed at Fog Fest. And starting in 2 weeks, International Week, we will be doing chalk art around the school, and many different cultural clubs will be hosting lunchtime activities to promote their cultures.
Thank you.
Okay. And then from Oceana, in the past couple of weeks, we had our first dance. It was 90s themed. And there was a sophomore volleyball bonding event to kind of bring the class together. There we had Fog Fest, and Oceana does the parking lot. And so all of the ASP members and also members of the student body help out to kind of create parking for the community at Fog Fest. And then their ASB is creating an enrollment plan to kind of reach out to middle schoolers to show them what Oceana is and why we love it. Club Fair was also put on in the past couple weeks, and it gives the student body a way to show what clubs are available and also kind of give them an opportunity to gain members and show people what to expect. The interim lists are coming out soon, and Halloween Fest is also coming up soon. Halloween Fest is an event that Oceana puts on for the community with games and a haunted house and other fun stuff like that. And yeah, that's all.
Hi. So for Thornton, Friday marks the end of our first quarter, and we're looking forward to the next 9 weeks for another quarter. We start our second quarter on Monday, October 7th, with school-wide activities on team building and field trips. And some field trips that we have planned is the San Francisco museums and the botanical gardens. We have groups like Fly and Success Centers come to the school weekly to share job readiness training and skills on responsible citizenship. We also have a trip planned for October 15th to the San Francisco State University to participate on campus tour and mock trials. We're also happy to report that we have 3 classmates of ours who have completed their graduation requirements in the first 9 weeks of school. Hopefully we have more next quarter. And our wilderness program had a successful 10-day backpacking trip and came back as a stronger team, ready to run our ropes course with a couple of groups this and next week.
Thank you. Tell me your name.
Sophia.
Got it. Thank you, Sophia. And then I went to a lot of the same events that my colleagues went to. And the only addition is I also went to Jefferson's homecoming game. So big shout out to Coach Amani Stewart. It was a fantastic game with a really great win. And then for all the other events, the Immigration Night and Fog Fest, just thank you to all the staff for both that helped put on everything on to help us continue to have great community impact. I mean, we're wonderful community ambassadors for all of our cities. And so I'm proud that we continue that representation. Turning it over to Superintendent Presta.
Thank you. I, too, was at many of the events listed. Immigration Resource Night, I'll tell you, we weren't so sure, or I can't claim we, meaning the people who were planning it, weren't so sure how the space was going to work. It's a beautiful building, but there are so many people that come to Immigration Resource Night, and I just think it ended up being beautiful and wonderful. And the fact that we had sort of different spaces going on, I think added to it. So thank you to everybody who planned and then did so much work for the community. It was great being at adult school, back to school night in their new building. I want to give a shout out I was at FogFest all weekend, and I was really impressed. Thank you to our staff. But really, the thing that won it for me was how many students were involved. There were students, Jefferson Union High School District students, all around FogFest all weekend long. And it wasn't just the Pacifica schools. So we had Terra Nova kids, certainly, and Oceana students doing the parking lot and doing the recycling. We had lots of Westmore students and Jefferson students at our booth, and a lot of Westmore students who were involved in just community clubs and green hats volunteering all weekend. So I was very, very proud of our students being in the community. I want to echo what Trustee Lee said about our student trustees. Last night, we've only had, I think it was our third meeting, and they were working like a well-oiled machine already. So I'm really excited for this group of kids, this group of young people, to see what they do and accomplish this year. And then finally, two more things. I was at Oceana's Back to School Night. I know several of us were there. It was a few weeks ago, but it was since the last board meeting, I think. So wanted to give a shout out. It was very impressive as always. I enjoyed it. And finally, there are many community events that we will be at coming up. So I think it's Brisbane Day in the Park this next Saturday. Then we've got the Bayshore Block Party and Top of the Hill. So thank you in advance to all of the members of the community and all of our staff members who will be at those events, sort of showing up in the community. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other board subcommittee report outs? No? Okay, moving on. I don't see anyone from our AFT.
No, they have no report tonight.
Okay, great. I'm going to move on to our consent agenda items. Unless anyone wants to pull anything, can I get a motion to approve consent?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Now on to public comment. I don't think we have any cards.
No cards.
Great. Moving on to our discussion items. Our first item on the agenda, is board policy update, BP 0420.41. Superintendent Presta, this is on charter school oversight.
Thank you. So actually, if I may, all three of our board policy updates, I'll speak to them all as one.
Sure.
They all really reflect changes in new law or changes in regulations and clarifying language. So there's quite a bit of narrative in the board packet, but I won't bore you by reading it all. But essentially new laws. And so what we've been working very hard to get kind of caught up to date on our board policies. So the charter schools, that we had one that will be approved, that was just approved in consent from last week. So this is just updating language.
Okay. Were there any comments or questions on any of the three board policies? So board policy BP 0420.4142 or BP 1160? No. Okay, we can move on. Those will come back for approval at our next, and they'll be put in consent.
In consent next meeting,
Okay.
correct.
So moving on to discussion of our annual goals, and one of them is the LCAP Goal 4, Metric 2. So do you want me to start or do you?
Yeah, so actually I can start, but then I'm going to turn it over to you. So Ms. Baca and I contemplated, creating a presentation, but we weren't exactly sure what presentation to create. And I know that it was the intent of the board to discuss the 4 goals that we pulled out kind of from the LCAP. So what we've done is just listed goal 4 is ensure all students are prepared for post-secondary education, careers, and lifelong success by providing a comprehensive college and career readiness program. And so specifically the metric that we're focusing on is that the board is focusing on is A to G rate, cohort graduates who met all the A to G requirements for admission to a University of California or state California school. And the goal for the baseline for 23-24 is all students 55%. And the goal looking out to 26-27 is that 60% of students. And then you can see all of the racial subgroups and other subgroups below. So this is sort of an annual measure. And so we wanted to, so Ms. Baca and I are here certainly to answer questions, but we thought I'll turn it over to you to sort of lead.
Sure. So before we get into it, Miss Deputy Superintendent Baca or Superintendent Presta, did you just want to give an overview of what A to G is?
So A through G are the series of requirements, minimum requirements for students to be eligible for the University of California and this California State University system. So they are 15 courses. So it ranges from A through G, and A stands for history, social science. So the requirement is 2 years of that. B is English for 4 years, and then C is mathematics for 3 years, but 4 recommended. And then science, there is a requirement of 2 years and 3 years recommended. Then visual and performing arts for 1 year, and 2 years of world language, and finally 1 year of electives. And so these are the minimum requirements to get into the UC and or the CSU system.
Thank you. I was opening up to colleagues to see if they had any questions on this metric or anything that they don't understand.
Sure. I've got a question here. With Deputy Superintendent Baca, with regards to our curriculum, how many courses do we have that are still not yet A through G? It seems like, at least with some of the discussions we've had previously, we have a significant majority, I think.
Majority of our courses, maybe over 90%, maybe even close to 95%, are A through G approved. So the majority of the courses are our self-contained classes for our students with IEP, our PE classes, health. There are a couple of new electives that Westmore is offering this year and Jefferson that they will submit for A through G. So there are jewelry and guitar techniques. And so they will, our teachers will submit that for A through G. And then finally, there's a couple of career technical education courses. But other than that, almost all of our courses are A through G approved, including our summer school credit recovery and also the after school credit recovery as well.
Okay, that's really great. So as a follow-up then, do we think that perhaps with some of the goal percentages that we have, for example, for students with IEP or students learning English, that perhaps the target goals might be a little on the low side? Or are we just being conservative and hoping that we would exceed it?
I think I'm just being conservative for now. I'm really hoping that it will go up because we have a lot more co-teaching classes right now. And so when students are enrolled in those classes, they are college prep courses. Mm-hmm. So I'm just, we can adjust the goal later on, but I just kind of want to see where we are.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Go ahead, Trustee Walker.
I don't I don't know that you have an answer right now, Deputy Superintendent, and maybe it's an answer that we continue to develop as we go through all these goals. But do you have any hint right now why the A through G rate is where it is? And maybe also kind of, does it become higher because we're getting new approval? Or is it because we're putting more emphasis on it?
So several things have happened since we started looking and tracking the A through G. So when we first started, I believe we were at like low 40s, maybe even like high 30s. And so what happened was bell schedule changes definitely affected our A through G rate. So for instance, at Jefferson High School, for students to be able to take 8 classes a year, it allows them to take more A through G classes. And in addition, students can make it up during the day. Westmore High School transitioning this year to a 7-period day will also help increase that. And also having, like in the past, also our credit recovery classes were not A through G when they take it through Apex, and we submitted that as A through G. So all those little things contribute. In addition, I know that through the Grading for Equity with Joe Feldman, so our teachers are really very mindful about, what the grade really means. And so that also helps with, because in order for students to meet the A through G, they also have to get at least a C in the class. And so with everything that we are doing, we're seeing, a great increase in our A through G rate.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think one of the things that we discussed when we were going through some of these goals, specifically this one, is we were kind of looking at the disparity in some of these percentages, specifically with like Hispanic and African American students, kind of why that A through G rate is so much lower than some of their constituents, and trying to figure out exactly what might be causing that, how we could kind of bring more data forward to help figure out how we could get those numbers up and be realistic about that approach. And I think that's definitely one of the main reasons why we want to kind of keep an eye on this goal. So that's all I really got to add to that for now. I don't expect to have an answer or anything like that, but I think as we continue to track this, we're going to want to know a little bit more about that data.
So one of the things that has been our focus with our work with National Equity Project is really hearing from our students, especially our Hispanic Latino students and our African American students. And so towards the end of last semester, we did hear from our Hispanic Latino students, and last week we heard from our Black students. And so we're gathering all of this data because this is just one subset of the data for our, Hispanic and Latino that's kind of low. But if we actually look at it overall, it's not just the A through G, but a lot of all the other metrics that we're looking at are Hispanic and Latino students and African American students are, disproportionately low.
Yeah, I think we've noticed that too. It's just we can't focus on everything all at once. And this was one of the more important goals for us to focus on with regards to those percentages and those students.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Oh, so first I want to say A to G for me is important because one, it is a full breadth of an education, right? It summarizes for us, like if you take all of these courses, then you have received a full high school education. Secondly, it is the metrics for A to G and getting your grade is almost entirely in our hands. So the teachers come up with the rubrics to decide what the grades are going to be. So I know some of the complaint that we hear about other metrics that may or may not be equally as important as our standardized testing, et cetera. These are all things that we don't create. It's one time, they're just taking one time a test, but this measurement is a full breadth of education, and it's metrics that are created in-house. So for me, it is then, one of the areas of focus when Right now, we only have 33% of our African American Black students reaching what we say is a full high school education, and only 42% of our Hispanic Latine. And then looking again at 28% of our students where English is in their first language, and then 18% of our students with an IEP. The other metrics, still it would, be good to increase having them, but still having them in the 60s when I first started for our other subgroups, those were much lower. I'd still, that is great and room for improvement, but how do we make sure that all of our ships rise up? And so I'm wondering, is there a specific area for certain subgroups where, for example, is it math? Is it a math course? If they're not meeting the math requirement, they're not meeting the science requirement. Is there a specific area with certain subgroups that if we fixed or focused on a certain area, we could increase it up, like looking at low-hanging fruit? Or is it an overall, a multitude of courses that are an issue?
So I haven't looked at subgroups specifically on which course basically is the barrier for our students, but overall, what I'm noticing, which I'm actually very surprised, it's English and science.
Okay.
And so it's, a good point for me to really look at, is it the same for our other student groups? I'm not sure, but I will look at that.
Yeah, if we can get that sent to us, again, a Friday report, and I know there's other things going on, but if we can have that info sent to us. The other thing I'm wondering is this goal, moving Black students, for example, from 33 to 50%, that's a 3-year goal. What are we looking for? What is the percentage increase that we're looking for at the end of this school year? And if you don't have that, that's okay, but it's just something to think about, so that if we don't hit that annual goal, like if we're saying we're going to move it, say, from 33 to 42%, or, if we don't get it there, what needs to be adjusted so that we don't get to the end of the 3 years and we're really off course? That's one of the questions. And another question, because I didn't give these to you in advance, so you don't have to answer them right now, is this is a huge, in 3 years, it shouldn't be, almost a 20% jump in some of these is a big jump. So I know that we're working on one of the things like National Equity Project, but what other, adult behaviors are we looking to change so that these numbers move? And just getting an idea of what those things are for further discussion would be helpful for me. And I know that, again, I know that we made a change at Westmore to their overall bell schedule to model what we did at Jeff, because we've seen success there. So that is an example for me of an adult behavior change. So what are the other changes that we're looking to do to have that continued success?
So thank you. We will do some more thinking and certainly share in a Friday report. But just what you said with the bell schedule, that's a very big example, and that's happening at the different schools, right? So all of so it's happening around the district. The other one that Ms. Baca brought up was the grading for equity trainings, and a lot of change efforts. There's I don't know, a finesse to it. I don't know really how to call it, but it starts with some seedlings, right? And so it's really, grading for equity is a great example of just the cohorts of teachers who've gone through. And this is an example of student advisory actually having a big impact. The students at one school that had a sort of critical mass of teachers who did this training came to student advisory and said, wait a minute, you're allowed to retake your tests, until you've mastered it. And so a lot of our efforts have been, trainings for, that's adult behavior. That's all that is, right? How teachers are grading. So those are two big examples, but we will, and do you want to add anything, Ms. Baca?
Some of the other adult behaviors that, counselors are really making sure and doing a really thorough job in evaluating transcripts. so that if they know that a student is only one course away from being A through G, they want to make sure that students are in that class and they have the access and opportunity. And in addition, I know that what our counselors are trying to do is also empower our students to be able to track their own A through G growth. And so that, both the adults and the students can be responsible for meeting the requirements.
Can I ask the student trustees, do you have an idea about A to G? Has anyone discussed it with you? Do you understand what it is?
I think I think in the meetings that we have at the beginning of the year at Oceana they kind of go over it each year and build up on the knowledge. But I think I have a sufficient knowledge of what it is from kind of those meetings at the beginning of the year. They talk about a lot of this different stuff about that we need to kind of do to graduate and how to whatever, also just rules about Oceana and stuff like that.
Yes, we have a good idea of the A through G requirements. Our counselors come to our advisories towards the beginning of the year and tell us about the A through G requirements and which classes we should take.
Actually, adding on to Miss Baca, I'm really grateful that the A to G requirements is something that our counselors are making us more aware of, because I initially did not have any credits for health, but I was able to recover through it, and I think it's really helpful.
Thank you. Yeah, so other than that, having more information, that'll help continue the conversation for me. And then last, I just want to end on just another comment where the other reason why A to G requirements are important to me is that it's the key to access to college. And that even it doesn't matter what college we're talking about. We're talking about community college. We're talking about UC or CSU. It's helpful in any of those areas. And for those, significantly for those subgroups that we're talking about that are lacking, those are the groups where we hear a lot of everyone doesn't need to go to college. And I counter that with, that's correct, everyone doesn't need to go, but those subgroups do. Because there's so much data that shows that for Black, for Hispanic, Latina, for students that have an IEP, that piece of paper is life-changing, changes so many demographics. And so for me, it's extremely important when we talk about our equity statement and our equity lens to fulfill those requirements to increase the numbers of students. It's up to their choice to choose what they want to do, but at least they have the option to do so. So that's why this metric, again, is extremely important to me. Any other questions or discussion on this goal? No? Okay, thank you. Looking forward to more discussion about it. Moving on to our middle college updates, I will turn it over to Deputy Superintendent Baca.
Hello again. So last week I had the privilege of visiting the middle college program at Skyline College with our school counselors and some of our vice principals. And I'm very, very impressed with the access and opportunity that our students have. And actually, when I look at the student population, it is very, very diverse. And so I'm very happy to see that. And I'm even more happy that this evening, Director Goodman will be presenting information and updates on our middle college program. So.
Thank you. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good evening, Superintendent Presta, Cabinet, President Salhu Dean, fellow trustees and community. My name is Martina Goodman, and I'm the director for the Middle College Program, and I'm happy to be here this evening to share some updates. So Middle College is a collaboration between the San Mateo County Community College District. We are partnered now with Jefferson Union High School District, which makes me very happy, South San Francisco Unified School District, and San Mateo Union High School District. And this partnership provides students with the opportunity to really build their education, allowing them to develop what they want to get out of the last 2 years of their high school. So our vision is to prepare and empower college career-ready graduates with the mindsets and skills required to become contributing members of society and to achieve academic and career success through intellectual, personal, and ethical growth. And our mission is really to ensure that the students graduate from high school and are prepared for college and careers through integration of high school, college, career technical education, and real-world experiences. In our middle college program, we're dedicated to quite a few things to our students, but some of the things that we really pride ourselves on is really being dedicated to their social and emotional wellness. A lot of students that are coming into our program, coming out of COVID, are coming with different mental health issues or just different challenges that they're facing within their home life or just being with their peers. And so we really want to focus on seeing the student as a whole person and not just a student. So we try to support them through a trauma-informed lens. We try to provide each student in our program with real-world learning. Our teachers do have the ability to develop their curriculum, where it's more focusing on giving the students the opportunity to see themselves within the curriculum and then allowing them to develop their voice by having a say in the classroom. Feeling welcome and safe. We try to create a lot of spaces within our middle college program for the students to come in and feel safe and welcome. As students choose our program, not just for the opportunity that it gives, but a lot of students are really trying to figure out who they are individually, whether it's their sexuality or just not feeling welcome at their home high school. The small community really does provide that opportunity for them to grow and to learn more about themselves and their peers. Our curriculum, like I said, in the middle college program, our curriculum is culturally relevant. It focuses on providing the students we serve with real-world experiences through diversity, social justice, inclusivity, and community building. It gives them the opportunity to learn about themselves, their peers, and then the communities that surround them. This also, again, allows them to develop their voice and to feel empowered. We do focus on the 5 pillars of resilience, which is purpose, self-awareness, mindfulness, self-care, and positive relationships. We really want the students to be able to navigate themselves and regulate themselves without, we're all going to face problems. And for them, we want them to know that as we build on these pillars, that they'll be able to get through any chaos that they might feel, go through or might feel. So we, again, like I said, we're partnered, but you can see that Jefferson Union High School District up there, we have 33% of our students are from Jefferson Union High School District. We currently have about 115 students in our program. So South San Francisco has 46%, but we're building up and it's good. We're at capacity right now for the building that we're in. We are getting a new building, so I'm hoping to be able to bring in more students. These are the high schools, so you can see that there's 17 juniors and 20 seniors. Currently, the seniors are, up there in range. The juniors are a lot from Westmore have chosen to, come to our school, so we're super excited about that. But there's a little bit of mix of from every high school that is here within the school district, so we're happy about that. And then here is our demographics. So you can see we are pretty diverse. These are the demographics within our program. From your school district, we do have 7 male, 27 female, and then 3 that are non-binary. 62% of them are low socioeconomic, and then 51% are first generation. So we're excited to have a good mix of students within our program. As we mesh the 3 school districts together, it's exciting to see just the diversity and the friendships that have been being built, because even though Daly City and South San Francisco and even San Mateo, like Millbrae area, it's not that far apart, but a lot of these students would have never have made friends with students from other schools, and seeing them really come together, I feel, is exciting. And this is just a sample schedule just of how a day could look within our middle college program. This is kind of like a basic, like if you were to come in 11th grade, you would be taking English and US history, and then the college courses would be built in in that yellow time frame. And then we do have our student life class. So I kind of like to say it's like a sandwich. We start with high school and then end with high school, and then everything else is in the middle. This is kind of our path that we have the students take. It's always subject to change, but it's pretty much what they do. So as they come into our program, in 11th grade, they take regular English 11, and they do take U.S. history, but for our U.S. history classes, they're going to get U.S. history 201 and 202 college credit as well. And then we do have cohorted classes that the students will flip-flop between spring, fall and spring. So half of the group will take Communications 110, and the other half will take counseling, and then it kind of flops. And then we make sure that they are already on their math sequence. And then as they go into their senior year, they will complete English 105 and English 110, and then other courses that are aligned for them. Here I call it the Guaranteed 24. So it kind of looks confusing, and I'm trying to figure out how to make this look a little bit better. But any student that comes into our program, even if they did the very, very least, they will get the 24 college credits. So by the time they graduate, they will have already completed Area A, they will have completed their math, and then moving on so forth through the IGETSI to make sure that as they begin to think about when they're graduating high school, if they're going to choose to stay at Skyline College or move on to a four-year university, they will already have started building their way up. We are in the process now of going to be changing it in fall 2025 to the Guaranteed 30. And so then the students will already be more than at least halfway done by the time they graduate, with half of their transferable college units needed. Most students are going way beyond that, because we now with our CCAP the students can take up to 15 college units each semester. So if they choose to do that, then they can be finished by the time they graduate high school. It kind of varies with what each student will accomplish in our program, because we do have students that come in at all different learning levels, but no matter what learning level they're at, they will be guaranteed the 24 and then pretty soon the 30. So right now, for the students that are from Jefferson Union High School District, these are some of the classes that they're taking, just to give you a variety of what they are able to take and what they're accomplishing while they're in our program. So all our current seniors are in these classes that are up there, and then our juniors are in these ones. They have the selection of the courses. So when they meet with our middle college counselor, they sit down and kind of develop their student educational plan that really helps them kind of guide what they need. Other classes will be filled in there if they come to us missing something, like the student said he didn't have health. So if a student came from Jefferson Union and they didn't have health, we would make sure that they take a health class so they're meeting the high school graduation requirement, but then they're also going to be getting college credit for that course as well. This is what math looks like in our program. We did bring back Math 120, even though it's not offered to the general community. It is offered for our middle college students, for students who are coming in that might still be struggling with math. We didn't want to just throw them into statistics or the pathway of STEM. So we were, for the students who are kind of, like still iffy or might not have had the grade that they were super proud of, they can do Math 120 if they choose to. It's only offered in fall once a semester, and then the next semester they'll then complete transferable level math. So by the time they do graduate high school, all their transfer level math will be completed. Dependent upon if they're like an engineering major, then they'll be kind of like navigating their way all the way down. But for the most part, the math will be completed as well. So right now, these are the students that are from Jefferson Union that are taking the math classes. So we have, you can see they're all over the place. So I'm happy with that, because most of them are already taking applied calculus, calculus 1, calculus 2, the path to calculus, statistics. And so out of the 37 students, 8 of them have already completed all of their transfer level math. 17 of them are currently taking math classes, and the 8 that are in Math 120 are progressing to complete one of the transfer level math classes. So that's super exciting. Some of our goals, like all of you, that we want them to get their high school diploma. We want them to have the Guaranteed 24. We want them to complete A through G. So within our program, we do focus on them completing A through G, just so they have that extra opportunity. Even though, yes, they're getting, college credit and all that stuff, it's still a goal. And so we want the students to be able to see that, that they're accomplishing all these different things as they progress through our program. Some of them choose to stay at Skyline, and then we do have the tag agreement where if they choose to stay 1 year after being in the middle college program, they're guaranteed a space in one of the 6 UCs that we're partnered with. Most students, it depends, it's about 50-50. Half of them choose to leave right out of 12th grade, and then a lot of them choose to stay to take advantage of the free college. So these are the plans for the seniors that are in our program. Some are choosing to go into the armed forces. 30% are going to stay at Skyline as of right now. And then the 65% are doing the A through G and completing working on the IGETSI to apply to a four-year university. So within our college and career readiness class right now, they're working on their applications and scholarships. These are some quotes. I'm not going to read them all, but they're super exciting. These are from the current 11th graders that are in our program. Some of them spoke about what they hope to get out of the middle college program, what they love about middle college, and why they came. And so I felt like it's, reading them, it kind of shows you just the different variety of students and why they came to our program. So I'll share one. It says, I came to middle college to get a head start in my education and to take advantage of the opportunity to be the first in my home to go to college. I want to make my parents proud. And that's from Colatita, and she's an 11th grader from Terra Nova. So super exciting. And then Edelaine. So last year, when we were bringing in students from Jefferson Union High School District, we had the opportunity to kind of do our soft launch. And so we didn't have that many, but the ones that entered our program are still there. But Edelaine was one she was very determined. As you can see her quote on there, I joined middle college because I was determined to graduate early. She was an 11th grader that graduated last year. Wow. And when she entered our program, she had 7 college credits that she had previously taken, but then she was able to earn 14 more just in the one semester that she was with us. And then she graduated, and this was her and Miss Baca at our graduation ceremony. So it was super exciting to see her and have her accomplish something that she was so looking forward to doing. She applied to a lot of different nursing programs and ended up going all the way back to Canada, where her dad and sister are, to do a nursing program out there. So that's super exciting for her. And she was a great student. So that's something I feel like all of you should be proud of, because she came from Jefferson High School. And then just to highlight another student, just to show what can be done in our program, this is Peyton. He joined middle college because the opportunities allowed him to soar to heights that he never would have achieved at his home high school. He was a triathlete. He was part of the Phi Theta Kappa at Skyline. He made the dean's list at Skyline College. He was part of the BSU. And when he graduated, he had 64 transferable college units, and he earned a certificate, a lot of scholarships, and he's attending UCLA this fall. So that for him, he's majoring in engineering. It shouldn't say or, it should say and business. But we're proud of him, and it just shows what you can accomplish when you set your mind to it in our program. And then this is some of our highlights. I put the averages from 2020 to 2024 because that's when I became the director for the middle college program. So I'm proud of this. Out of our program, we have 100% graduation rate. 97% of the students complete fully, like the A through G and beyond. And then you can see 86% with the post-high school college enrollment. And then all of them have a 2.0 or higher, and then 38 plus college credits. So they're beating the guaranteed 24. And then these are things that I just want to share with all of you, just about some of the highlights from our program. I'm not going to read them all, but you can see some of the great accomplishments that have come through our program for the class of 2024. We had 60 graduates. And if you look on the one side, you can see that a lot of them just chose to stay at Skyline. There was 26 that decided to stay at Skyline and do the Skyline College Promise program. But then all these universities here are where students are currently attending that graduated from our program. So this year we'll have a great big group of Jefferson Union High School districts, and I can't wait to students to see where they are choosing to go. And then one of the things that we just participated in, but a lot of your students were super excited to participate in, it was the climate change and sea level rise discussion, where we had different elected officials, we had different council members, we even had, an assemblywoman member come. And so we had 2 of our students were moderators, and 20 other students participated in the event, where they were able to mingle and get to know different elected officials and talk about different things that are involving, are their communities. And then the students that participated are ones that are interested in politics and, climate change and all that fun stuff. And so they were super excited to be there and participate in this event. We are going to be taking a college tour on Wednesday, October 9th. We're going to be visiting Sonoma State University. The students voted on this school. They wanted to go to one that was far enough to not have to live at home, but close enough to drive back home if they needed to. So this is the one that they decided. And so we'll have a campus tour. They're going to have a student life presentation and then EOPS presentation, and then we'll have lunch out there on the campus. We do have workshops within our program as well because we want to engage the parents and have them feel, part of our program. So we are going to be having FAFSA workshop. We generally have one every year to go over FAFSA. And then we are going to be having a Beyond Grades College Success for Our Teens workshop for the parents to kind of get a better understanding of what middle college is and how they can support their student as well as they navigate and progress through our program. And this is just some pictures. They did create a mural. We do have community building. I really do think as students, even though they're coming into our program, like I said, there's the super, the high achieving, and then it's all the way around. And I feel like building community is something that the students really, really love. Building those friendships and just still realizing they're a kid. They might be doing a whole lot of college work and stepping into this adult type of world, but they do need the opportunity to really have fun and get to know each other. And I feel like this is one of the pieces that makes middle college so great is that they're able to build that community. Even though it's a small group of students, it's a big community. And this was our senior sunrise. So these students in these pictures here are students from Jefferson Union High School District in the bottom photos. And then at the top is the ones who came to the event, but those are some of your students. So I just wanted to share that with all of you. And then where our application is going to be opening January 6th. So like Ms. Baca said, I did meet with all of the counselors and some of the principals to kind of go over what the application process is like. And so they can all work together to support the students that are interested in our program. We will be having information nights. We're having a shadow day where students will come and shadow to make sure that they know exactly what the program is. And then the application will open in January. And then that's the class of 2024. And then that's it. So questions?
Thank you so much. I'm going to turn it over first to Superintendent Presta.
Thank you. I need to leave the meeting early tonight, and I asked President Salahuddin to just allow me to say thank you so much before I excuse myself. I am so grateful to you because I know that I was at a couple community events and you kind of came in, bent our ear about the program. And so I'm really grateful to you for your dedication and persistence because that's a big reason why we got involved. And thank you so much. The benefits of this program are very apparent, and I'm thrilled that our students get to take part in it. So thank you. And I apologize that I have to leave right after your presentation, but thank you.
Thank you. All right, opening up to any of our trustees for comments or questions. Trustee Walker.
Thank you so much. When I became a trustee, I hoped that I could be a part of creating opportunities for our students in the district. And apparently I don't have to do it because you are. Thank you so much. I'm wondering if sorry, I'm trying to ask you the right question. I'm gathering my words. In the future, do you think that there will be students from Jefferson High School, Oceana High School participating more in the middle college program?
I do. Actually, right now we have an agreement where we can take in 40 of your students. So we're at 37. So actually, after the application closed, there was a group of students that did apply also for the program. So then they were waitlisted if some other students would not necessarily from your district like return, but space-wise. So we filled to cap based on the application, opening and closing deadline. But yes, and students already have emailed me saying, oh, we didn't get in for our junior year. We want to come for our senior year. So I do believe more and more students are going to be applying for the program from your school district.
Thank you.
Trustee Gallegos?
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for an awesome presentation and kind of highlighting, all the cool things that this program offers to our students. I don't really know a whole lot about it, so I was kind of curious as to, well, I guess one of the things was just trying to figure out what the application process is like, or how those applications get reviewed, and what that process is like as far as accepting an application to your guys' program. And the other question was, is this, I'm assuming this is like a full-time, Monday through Friday class at your guys' facility, right? That's how that works? Okay. And then how's the application process go for you guys as far as reviewing who gets accepted?
So we are from 8 o'clock in the morning until 3 p.m. So it is a full day program. When the students apply, so they will first do the initial application, and in that application, they'll provide their counselor's information, their home high school, all the different, there's a set of questions, and then that comes to us. We look at it, they automatically get a response back that says, thank you for applying. These are the next steps. And so within the next steps, we send out we call it our counselor packet. So with the email provided by the student for their home high school counselor, we will send out a packet to the counselor. Within that packet, the counselor will answer a certain set of questions that are in there, asking about the student. Do they recommend the student for our program? It asks if they are credit deficient, and if yes, in what subjects. They will upload the high school transcript. And then it does ask a question, if the student has a IEP or a 504 plan. That question's in there, so we know that that's one of our students if they are accepted into our program, to make sure that they then are put into the Educational Access Center to receive the exact same accommodations that they were receiving at their home high school. So from there, then the student will have a writing prompt. There's like 4 different writing prompts. So they submit a writing sample, and then the parent has to fill out the parent recommendation form. Once all that's completed, we do an interview where we ask questions. They're able to ask us questions. Generally within the interviews, it's our counselor, our 2 retention specialists, myself, and a teacher, depending on which one of our teachers volunteer at that time to participate. And we go through the applications. Generally, so we've kind of like separated it now a little bit based on like the different school districts, knowing how many we can pull in, because each number from the school districts that we're partnered with have a different number of students that can come into our program. So we try to pull in students. We have a certain percentage, I didn't bring the breakdown, but that are from like 1.8 GPA all the way up to 3.0 and higher. So we always make sure we're hitting that percentage of students that are coming in with the lower GPA, because that's why middle college was put here, to give those students the opportunity. So we're really trying to get a little bit of everybody in our program. And generally, the only way a student will be denied is, again, if there's no space, and if they are so credit deficient that there's no way even coming into our program that we could help them recover. It would be something that the home high school would have to do, working with that student. But we review them, and the students know by the end of the interview if it's a right fit for them. Some students will pull out if they think it's going to be too academically challenging for them, even though we do provide a lot of support services for the students within our program. I think that's why the success rate is so good, because there is like a built-in team to help them.
Awesome. Thank you, Martina. I appreciate it.
1 second, I'm going to turn it over really quickly to Trustee Myatt, and then I'll come back to you, Trustee Lee.
One question I kind of have is like, how does like the GPA calculations work? Because I guess half of it is like their high school credits, and it's like there's like a mixture of college credits. So, yeah.
So every class that the student takes will be reflective on their high school transcript. So we will send over the grades to each of the high schools that the student comes from. And then those classes are put on the onto the high school transcript. So it's all just depends on, I feel like each school district kind of has different scales. Like some have minuses, some don't have minuses. So it just depends on your school. But all the classes will be on your high school transcript. But for the students who are applying out, like that might be like what you're thinking, like, so as you're applying out, you will upload, the students in our program upload their high school transcript, and they do upload their college transcript as well. So then it's reflective. Even though you're getting high school credit for all of these college classes, we want the university that you're applying to also know their college classes. So both transcripts will be uploaded into the application.
Go ahead, Trustee Lee.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand exactly the IDETSI a little bit. So the students right now are guaranteed 24 collegiate units, but they can earn up to 60 in theory if they hustle or more. Wow. So that means that, so when you're saying 60 are needed to transfer, that is to transfer to a 4-year school and just only need 2 years of the 4-year school?
So most students from our program go in as a second semester sophomore.
Okay.
It just depends on what they've accomplished. Some can go in higher. They will always be considered a freshman based on age and graduation date.
Right.
But their classification within the college system will have them classified correctly. So they could go in second semester sophomore. Some will go in just as a regular sophomore. Some, like Peyton, will go in as a junior.
Okay. All right. That's why I just wanted clarification on. All right, great. That's fantastic. Thank you.
And just to put someone who's put kids through college, that's like $20,000 savings, each year. That's huge. Couple of questions. First, Deputy Superintendent Baca, do we refer or are we just waiting for people to apply?
Right now, we do an advertisement. So I send out a message to everybody, and the counselors also send the message out, and then the students do apply on their own.
Okay. I don't know if I really have a question. It's just more of a comment. I am so happy that we are part of this program. I remember when it opened, I was a school board member here when the program first started, and we weren't able to participate. So I'm glad we're participating now. When we look at the progress of how education is administered in the United States, it hasn't changed much. Like, you look at pictures from the 1900s and it looks the same, right? So while we are making the progression to move into other things, and the discussion that we talked about earlier, the A to G rates, like changing the way that we do our bell schedules, changing the way that we do the calendar for the year, et cetera. The other part of that is also pulling in other partners and other programs, because we are complex learners. And there's no way as one school district, especially with our size, that we can handle the myriad of the complexity of the way students learn by ourselves. So being able to have partners where a traditional high school doesn't fit, there's another place that they can go. So I'm thrilled that we're part of something where students that go there, the benefits that they can achieve are tremendous. And it did remind me of a question. So what preparation do you do? Because part of it is, the high school comfort buffer zone that we provide for them before they go out is removed a little bit here, because they do have college courses where they're in with adults. So is there any preparation for that, that level of independence that they're going to now have that they didn't have when they were in high school?
I guess I would say, we do our orientation, but I do feel like the cohorted classes that we have in the beginning is preparing them for the college coursework. So like for the 11th graders that come in, they're doing the communications 110, half of them, just all of them together. And then the other half are doing the counseling 100, which is the college readiness kind of course for them to kind of navigate them, to get them prepared. And then they'll select other classes, but our math classes are cohorted for middle college students as well. So say there's 35 students in a class, 20 of them will be just middle college students, and 15 will be like the general public for the transferable math. For Math 120, it's just all middle college. Okay. But for us, we do go through that like in our interview, kind of talking with the students to let them know, let their parents know, it's a little different. But we do have our middle college lounge. And so I feel like even though the students can kind of gather and go around the campus, there's some beautiful buildings there, a lot of them still navigate to where middle college is, because within the lounge, Their food's there. There's the community, and the teachers and everybody's all in one wing of the building. So they're able to kind of develop relationships that way. And for the most part, they don't really realize they have the freedom until their senior year. Because some of them are driving then, and then they're like, but for the most part, they're like, they stick to us kind of like glue. Yeah.
Got you. Go ahead. Thank you, Trustee Presta.
I just want to say that I know a few people that from Oceana that I previously went to school with them, and that they're currently attending middle college. And I think for them, it's honestly just a really great opportunity, and a lot of people enjoy it a lot. And so I just want to say thank you to you for giving that opportunity to so many people that kind of would like that type of different, not super, super traditional learning style and kind of high school experience, but like it benefits them in a really great way. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Go ahead, Trustee Tejada.
Ms. Goodman, thank you for being here. One of my old Skyline classmates, he was the principal at Cañada's Middle College, and this was over 15 years ago, and he said, when are you guys going to get one? Because this is, it must have been 10 years because I was already on the board, but he said, we have so many students from your district who want to come here and we can't admit them. And I think the huge difference here is that you're the person running this program. Your stats are impressive. Your approach, your advocacy, just the passion in which you give this presentation. It's so inclusive. And, I was really protective mom. And I think I would be a little nervous about my child being in with grownups. But the program that you've created here strikes a real good balance so that everyone feels safe and everyone feels safe to grow and to be an individual. I met at Oceana. I went to an event this past year where they were welcoming incoming freshmen. And I met a parent whose son was going to be a freshman at Oceana, but her daughter was in middle college. And she said, I wish they had middle college when I was going to school here, because she is loving it. It is something, she said, for whatever reason, her high school wasn't a good fit for her. But now she's just so independent, and she has these new friends that she just met from other schools, other regions, and I think we all want opportunity, and so this has been such a great experience, and I can't wait to see it grow even more. And I thank you so much for your partnership and for reaching out to us and helping our students and families. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Go ahead, Trustee Walker.
So my daughter went to Oceana, and you told us about this program last year, and just my ear to the ground, I don't hear a lot about it. I hear about it because I'm on the board. And I wonder what I can do, maybe so other people's ears to the ground find out more.
So I would love everyone to, share, as we send the information out, to share. But last semester was just our soft launch, and so then we are I think his name's Mathis, the counselor. Matthias. So he just reached out to me to come up to the schools to present during flex time, and then to also do some tabling. So I'm going to be coming out to all of the high schools to present. Thornton reached out to me to come up to their school to give out some information as well. So we're trying to pull from everywhere to make sure everyone has the opportunity. And we're going to be having 2 info sessions for parents. And so I'm hoping there'll be a big blast, to all the parents that there's going to be this info session so they can come and hear about it too. Because sometimes students hear about it, and then when they go home and tell their parents about it, the parents are like, no. Because it's leaving the home high school. And a lot of, parents worry about the high school experience. But they get to do everything. We had 23 athletes last year. They still get to play sports, prom, all that stuff. But I think it's just getting over that barrier of they're leaving the home high school. And I think once they see the results, word of mouth always helps. So yes, I think if you share and talk about it when you go to like the back to school nights and different things, that there's this other opportunity. It's not to take, there'll always be your students. So it's not us taking your students, it's us just sharing.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? No? All right. Thank you so much. Moving on to human resources, we have a board policy update, BP 1312.3, uniform complaint procedures, turning it over to Associate Superintendent Basuino.
All right. Am I doing this one or are you doing it? Me? Okay.
Oh, did I skip one? Sorry. I skipped one. Excuse me. I need to do independent survey. So that was just a heads up that that's coming.
I'm here.
But I need to do student services. So board policy update BP 6158 for independent study.
There we go.
And it's also you, Ms. Basuino.
There we go. Board policy 6158 independent study is being updated to reflect new law. Changes include the threshold for when tiered re-engagement strategies are required to be implemented, specifies that a signed written learning agreement be obtained before the student begins independent study, that a student with disabilities may participate in a course-based independent study program if the student's individualized education program specifically provides for such participation.
Okay, great. And this was another first read. So does anyone have any questions on this? Nope. Okay, so it'll come back in consent for approval. And now moving on to BP 1312.3 for uniform complaint procedures. Okay,
Yeah.
and I think that is you, Ms. Lujan.
Sorry. Speaker threw me off. Okay. So BP 1312.3 was updated to reflect the new Title IX regulations that went into effect August 1st, 2024, and which expands the way that Title IX can be, the complaints can be received. And it also updated new law that prohibits governing boards from adopting or approving the use of textbooks and instructional materials that would subject a student to unlawful discrimination.
Okay, and so this is the only one I have a question on because the state of California hasn't clarified what that means. So I know we're adopting, but discrimination, and especially in terms of some of our ethnic studies, like they haven't clarified what do they mean, like giving us guidelines around discrimination. So I'm fine bringing it in because it is an update to new law, but I'm just saying that I'm still asking for more clarity around that particular line. Okay. Any other questions or comments? Nope. All right, moving on to our board policy update, BP 1330, the use of school facilities, and this is Deputy Superintendent Van Raphorst.
Thank you, President Salahuddin. Good evening, everyone. This policy is being brought to you with changes that update the existing language to clarify things, as well as adding information in compliance with elections code about using school property for polling places during an election.
So great. Any comments or questions? No. Okay, moving on to consideration of future agenda items. One of the items that I suggested that we talk about is the governor of California recently passed a law on cell phone usage in class. So I would like to have on a future agenda a discussion so we can talk about it and give possible direction. Any other agenda items? Nope. All right. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.